G'day, Davey here from Stumblor Pinball. Hope you enjoyed that synth wavy intro. I got a bit inspired by watching the Medicinal Mods new product drop the other day, which was showing a lot of synth wave, Stranger Things, feel. So, I thought I'd put a bit of a synth wave intro in there. We're not talking about Stranger Things today. We're going to be looking at the Godzilla Tokyo Neon mod that's coming out in a couple of weeks. A couple of users expressed an interest in understanding a little bit more about how the configuration side of things worked. So I thought I'd dive in a little bit deeper to show specifically how to get the mod looking a bit more representative of the original sign colorations here. You can see that the original sign colors were represented in more of a yellow, green, and sort of whitey grey color there. So I thought I'd show through the configuration how we can achieve that. Okay, let's dive straight in. Okay, so when the mod is turned on, it creates its own Wi-Fi channel that I've already connected to, and then I've navigated either you can do it on a phone, a tablet, or your computer that I've done here to this particular IP address, which will bring up this configuration page here. The mod itself is broken up into 5 separate LED groups. I'll just demonstrate them. They are the battle character, the power character here, the ally character, the neon border, which goes around the outside of the characters, and then the sign on the right here. Each of those LED groups is represented by its own tab down here, and then the whole configuration screen is broken up into the different tab sections at the top here. The one we're currently on is at rest, which describes what the mod does when it's not being triggered. And then the when triggered tab over here describes what the mod does when the pinball machine tells it to do something. Got general settings on the right here, and then a patterns tab, which allows us to configure more granular control over the patterns themselves. So first things first, if we wanted to just change the color of the characters when the mod was at rest, just do it using this color wheel here. So I'm currently changing the battle character, and then we could just dial it into whatever sort of coloration that we wanted here. So likewise, that can be done for all the other characters and the neon border as well. I'll just leave those as stock for the time being. What we're actually going to try and do is change the colors for when the mod is triggered. So we'll go over to the when triggered tab here, select the battle character first, and looking at the original sign here, we can see the battle character is already like a red and a yellow, and clicking on this test button here will show that when the mod is triggered, it goes into a yellowy orange pattern anyway. So let's leave that one as is, and we'll have a look at the second one, which is power. We'll try and make that a more green. So the default mode is this orange and yellow, so we'll change that to be sort of more of a green color here, maybe add a bit of yellow and neon green in there. So now when that character is triggered, it will fire off in a green and yellow pattern. The ally character is in a bit of a sort of a grey-white, obviously a very difficult colour to represent in LEDs. So let's aim for more of like a white, possibly ice blue, just to give it a bit of contrast. So let's trigger it. The default mode is orange and yellow, as you can see here. So let's go for sort of aqua over here, add a bit of white there. And simple as that, we've changed the colour of that one. So now then when that character triggers, it will be in a different color. Currently, the neon border, you can see, has a bit of a flame effect associated with it, which looks awesome. But let's say we didn't like that and we wanted to change it to something else. We could do it by selecting different patterns over on the right here. So when we currently when we trigger that border, it does the fire, but let's say we wanted to give it a different pattern, that sort of alternating bouncing one, or this sort of more sort of linear one there, or what have we got? Pattern 3, what does that one do? Sort of like more of a flashing type pattern. So there's lots of default patterns on offer here. If we wanted to create our own one, then that can be done easily too through this particular screen. I think this is the one that I was originally showing, which does that flashing pattern. But if we wanted to modify it so it was slower or faster, then we could do that through this screen as well. There's lots of different options here to control sort of the brightness pattern, which is the waveform that covers whether an LED is bright or not, the mix of RGB colors and a bunch of other settings like spin and the intensity of the overall pattern. I won't get into detail on that in this video. There's more information available through the documentation, which will be out very, very soon. But hopefully that has given you a bit more insight into how to control the mod and to get it looking the way that you might want it to. Yeah, any questions, hit me up. Thanks a lot.